Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, right? I'm not gonna lie to you lads. I am not in a good mood. I've barely slept in 3 days. The weather is bollocks cold. I've just watched the rugby team lose to Japan. And I just remember that Jack Grealish still exists. It's not been a great week, right? But let's just crack on with this and just see what's happened in the football world. 7-2. 7-2 at home to Bayern Munich. Tottenham, are you serious? This is a side who are supposed to have apparently league title ambitions, and they're conceding 7 goals at home inside 90 minutes, with Serge Gnabry scoring 4, the lad who was used as a human dish rag during his time at West Brom. This didn't look like a matchup between two teams with Champions League ambitions this season. This looked like a German giant using Spurs' new £2 billion stadium as their own private brothel. For Christ's sake, Spurs showed more fight back when they were going for 4th under Martin Jol, and even then that was with half their dinner trickling down their legs. This was supposed to be the new arena, the new fortress to take Spurs to the next level. I'm guessing they didn't expect that within 4 months of it opening, they'd have a former Arsenal benchman essentially taking a dump on the living room carpet and then wiping his arse on the curtains. You'd forget this team were actually in a Champions League final just 5 months ago. Nowadays they look like they struggled to win a game of Tiddlywinks against Stevie Wonder. Christian Eriksen has had to deny internet reports, i.e. something dreamt up by some fat internet slob living out of his mother's basement and who's only ever seen human vaginas on TV, that Jan Vertonghen allegedly had an affair with his girlfriend that allegedly sparked a huge bust up with Harry Kane for some allegedly strange reason. What is this, an episode of Hollyoaks? I don't care if he ran over your dog, ate your last shepherd's pie, put your cat in the microwave. There's no excuse for that shambolic play we all saw out on that pitch. Honestly, that brand of defending, that lack of work ethic, it's enough to make me want to fetch up my dinner. And I haven't eaten in 4 days. Speaking of which though, I think their hunger is actually gone. Reaching the Champions League final was such a monumental achievement, for Christ's sake. It took every last sinew of effort to get there. No, there isn't unfinished business. That was their one chance of glory, lads, and they knew it. Why do you think Christian Eriksen was wanting off to Real Madrid on the summer? Pochettino had half mentally checked out of North London after the Ajax game. He knew that is as good as it's ever going to get for Spurs. I mean, of course it is. Like, the day I see Harry Winks getting his hands on a Champions League medal is the day I put my head in a fire. Having said that, the reaction from Spurs fans is absolutely hideous.
Humiliating. Poch can fuck off. We need a manager who can defend. Bring Jose. Poch has to go. Poch out. Second. Time to go, Poch. Poch, just leave.
Like, I shouldn't be surprised, should I? There's no loyalty in football anymore. Yes, it's a bad start to the season, and yes, Pochettino needs to revise his plans in January. There needs to be a possible overhaul. Bring in some fresh faces, but lads, don't forget this is the same fella who dragged you to 2 of the greatest nights in your club's history a little over 6 months ago. What are you saying, he since steam grilled his brain in the summer? He's still the same man. There is no need to treat him with such contempt. Yes, that performance was shocking. It was viewing that should probably have come with a health warning for most Spurs fans, and at times some of that Bayern play looked like it was more suited to featuring on Pornhub. But lads, let's not forget, Sir Alex Ferguson was once hit for 6 goals at home in 1 game. Jurgen Klopp was smashed by 5 goals against his soon-to-be nearest title rivals just a little over 2 years ago. Like, these games do happen. And yeah, I know Spurs have been on a terrible run, but lads, I think Pochettino deserves a bit more respect, don't you? Without Poch, you would still be licking clean the boots of your city neighbours, still unable to finish above them, juggling between managerial clowns that are Andreas Villas-Boas and the walking meme that is Tim Sherwood. Like, do you remember the days of Soldado up front and Andros Townsend on the goddamn wing, Clint Dempsey as your marquee signing? Do you want to go back to that? Show the man some respect. It's like some homeless drunk somehow ending up in a relationship with Margot Robbie, then after she's helped him to get a job, clean up his act and, you know, buy him a pair of shoes, he tosses her in the bin on account of not being good looking enough. Like, come on, speaking of this sort of modern day fan entitlement. Look, we all saw what happened at the weekend, lads, didn't we? Newcastle travelled to Leicester and got smashed by 5 goals. For Geordies worldwide, it was an absolute embarrassment. It was an absolute joke. Some of the defending out in that second half, lads, it's enough to make you violently ill, but still, look at this. Geordie fans actually expecting Jamal Lascelles to pay for their taxi ride home.
40 grand a week. Jamal was stuck. Hey, it's not Jamal, man. It's not him. I want to lift it. I ain't going to crash him.
You did really well.
Don't you? I didn't believe you were there when it crashed. So you believe no cash? I made 40 grand a week. And you much 40 grand a week?
So basically, a couple of young lads have just asked him for a ride, you know, to pay for their taxi or bus or whatever. Supposedly because apparently the rule is if you perform badly in your job, I guess you then have to fork out for everyone's public transport home. Christ above, by that logic, I'd have probably been shutting out $500,000 in Ubers after the goddamn WAG video. Then amidst this furore, some kid pipes up and says, "You've played really well."
You played really well.
I mean, clearly the kid was either drunk on Pepsi or just unfortunately being born without eyes in his head. But when Lascelles says to the older lads, "I ain't got any cash on me," the lads say,
Wait, no cash and you're on 40 grand a week?
"Lads, the fella could be on 2 million a week. If he doesn't have his wallet, he doesn't have his wallet." It was probably left on the goddamn bus. Most likely because he, probably didn't think he'd have to, personally fork out for about 2,000 rides home. Like, what are we expecting him to do next? Carry you all on piggyback up the A1? Because I've seen some of the fans, lads. After 2, he'd probably break his back. I don't get it. Yes, the travelling fans at the Leicester game were great, and were understandably pissed off at watching Lascelles and 10 others play like a bunch of constipated cows, but expecting a free lift home because of it? Are you mental? But just back on the Champions League, I was on the verge. Oh, my throat is already going, lads. I'm not for this. Okay, back on the Champions League. Yes, I was on the verge of the greatest prediction ever told by a human being with a working face ever in the history of anything that's ever been alive. Yeah, I'm going back to dinosaurs, lads. If they're so smart, why are they all dead? Yesterday at 7:45 p.m.
Liverpool will lose their first Champions League home match since October 2014 tonight. Remember this.
Now yes, at first glance, it just sounds like the ravings of a madman, of someone who clearly mixed pints of glue in with his morning porridge. There was more chance of me getting my lads stuck in a dishwasher than of Liverpool losing their perfect home record to a football club named after an energy drink that just gives you the shits. There goes the Red Bull brand sponsorship anyway. I mean, no, it's a great drink. I wish I was drinking it right now. It causes the right amount of movement in my bowels and doesn't turn the toilet bowl into a bowl of Nutella. And then Liverpool just go 3-0 up. Right, that's the end of me. Back to the goddamn nut house.
I would hereby like to pretend this tweet never happened.
Right, great. 20 seconds later, Salzburg score. Then 2 more. Suddenly, 3-3. Half an hour to go, and literally, I am on the verge of the greatest prediction of all time. Something that should probably have earned me a goddamn knighthood. I'd have worn that prediction like a badge of honor for the rest of my life. Straight on the fridge, on the front page of the CV. Anything to delay them from reading adult human YouTuber.
One more goal and this tweet is the greatest thing to ever happen to me.
Yes, it would have been. 15 seconds later. This is why we can't have nice things. Oh. Why do I predict these things? And thankfully I didn't make a forfeit like saying I was gonna shower in milk or eat a goddamn finger this time. So at least I'm learning.
Lamine Diaby Fadiga sacked by Nice after stealing teammates' watch.
It's ironic. For a club called Nice, this lot do specialise in hiring a string of head cases. Imagine being a professional footballer earning thousands of pounds a week just to play football for a couple of hours each day. You have more money than you know what to do with, and yet still you stoop to nicking watches off your goddamn teammates while they're cleaning their arse in the goddamn shower. Lads, imagine having the world at your feet, the dream job at your fingertips, and just chucking it down the toilet because you feel like nicking your teammates' stuff. I don't even have the words for it. New signing Casper Dolberg was the victim, with this teenage fella stealing a £62,000 watch. £62,000 for a watch. Like, you can just check the time on your phone for free. The lad has since been sacked. What an absolute gambine with a capital G. An award for the most insane transfer rumour of the week.
Inter Milan eyeing shock move for Bernie's J. Rodriguez.
This one just makes me sad, honestly. Genuinely, without sounding like a goddamn old man. Back in my day, Inter Milan used to sign genuine world-class stars. Now they're wanting to drag in broken dishwashers off the Burnley bench. Is that where we're at the moment? Inter Milan's marquee signing being J. Rodriguez. Lads, you actually want to sign Burnley's leftovers? You'd be better off chugging a plate of lasagna up front. J. Rodriguez at Inter Milan is an absolute insult. I'm sorry to his friends and family if they happen to be watching, but it's true. This is Inter Milan, not Huddersfield Town, not Stoke. Internazionale. What else happened this week? Well, Richard Keogh happened. Listen, I might actually save this for another video because as you can tell, I'm already in a bit of a bad mood. And honestly, this story, I'm still too utterly pissed off by it. I'm not a Derby fan, right? Thank the Lord, by the way. I don't know how I could have survived 2008. But I'm an Ireland fan. And if we don't make Euro 2020 because one of our centre halves was involved in a drink driving incident. Listen lads, I've no problem with our defenders going out and getting pissed every now and then, alright? For Christ's sake, Paul McGrath probably stank of vodka cranberries half the time he stepped foot on the goddamn pitch. But there's a time and a place, and when there's cars involved, there is never a time and never a place. Hand over the keys, don't sit in the car. I don't... Lad, no, I'm not even gonna start on this, lads, honestly. I'm actually not in the mood to talk about Richard Keogh and why he might have cost us a place at Euro 2020. I'm just not, okay? That story really pissed me off. Anyway, sorry to end on a bit of a bad note. I don't know, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have done this video. Maybe I should have gone and watched the Brady Bunch or something, I don't know. It also doesn't help that it's 10 o'clock at night and I haven't had a shower in about 3 weeks. Anyway, that is the end of the video, lads. Let me know, is there anything else you want covered? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.